Thank you for tuning in to Gain and Glow, a feel-good lifestyle podcast with me, Vanessa,
and me, Crystal.
All right, so this week's episode, I'm just diving right into it. I want to talk about developing a fitness mindset, even if you don't necessarily love working out. Like me.
And me. It's a love-hate relationship. Yep. And so I'm just going to start us off with this dope quote of the week by our main man, Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a pretty, physical, inspiration, badass.
Yeah.
Just all wrapped in one.
Dope AF.
Yes. He's dope. He's our dope quote. A lot of times people look at the negative side of what they feel they can't do. I always look on the positive side of what I can do. Chuck mother effing Norris.
Yes. This quote is one of my favorites. I found it today. But I really like it because it's exactly how I see our progression of developing kind of a fitness mindset, getting to the place where you enjoy working out, even if you're not necessarily somebody who loves exercise. And it just speaks so true to how I've personally overcome some of my weird issues with working out and the gym life and all of that. And it's so true. You have to focus more on what you can do and let that be your motivator for everything that you do in life. Motivate yourself with positives rather than being upset with yourself or negating your successes because of things that you cannot do.
Yeah, and I think it's so hard to kind of start working out when you haven't been working out, because I feel like automatically it becomes the lowest thing on your priority list, and you automatically associate stress with trying to do something new in your day. And so trying to figure out the best way to be consistent at working out is really working on your mindset about it.
And if you're not somebody who grew up fit, if you didn't grow up playing sports or have parents who taught you how to work out or what it really means or what options there are, it's hard to start. And I know that because that's where I was. I grew up being a decently healthy eater just because of how my family ate and stuff, but as far as working out and fitness goes, absolutely not. And team sports were no, not a thing. I wanted nothing to do with that. I had an incident of passing out when I was trying to run the mile, and that was where I was you know what? 10 years old, I was I just don't think this is for me. I'm just gonna be the chubby smart kid. Let me just be that thing.
I don't need to work out. It's fine.
Right. So going into adulthood, it was when I really got to a point where I realized, okay, if I want to be healthy and live a lifestyle, not only that lasts longer, but also is more enjoyable, working out obviously has to be something that I need to do. I just got to that point where I realized this is what's going to benefit me. Getting started was the hardest part because you don't know where to start from. You don't know where to go. And there's so many things out there.
Yeah, it's very easy to either get overwhelmed or be so focused in the planning stages of figuring out what to do that you never actually do anything, and then a week later you're upset and you're kind of right back to where you started, and then you're like, well, I guess I must research some more because that was the problem.
Right. The 36 workout challenges I pinned on Pinterest yesterday, It's not quite enough. I feel like I need more choices.
Speaking of challenges, we were gonna do a challenge to kind of challenge ourselves.
We thought it'd be fun. We thought it would be fun.
Yeah, have a nice little challenge, see our progress over a month's time, and then poor sweet Vanessa got a double ear infection.
Yep. Yes, I did. Yeah, we had this grand idea that we were going to do a challenge, and it was going to be like, like 31 days of butts or whatever challenge, like something that was like something like that, right? I mean, like butt workouts. God, I'm coming off of a double ear infection. But we realized that challenges like that are a lot like being like caged, and we're just simply wild animals. So that's a problem. And then I got sick, and I spent a week down being sick, and I had quite a few epiphanies, one of which was, I feel like challenges actually kind of set us up for failure if we don't look at them in the right way. And I feel like I've only just now started coming to that realization of how that it can be a good starting point and a good template and a good place to get ideas, but sticking to it kind of it's almost like it's almost like a diet. It's like an exercise diet.
Yeah, and you can like take it a few different ways. It's like either it could be too much for you, like those squat challenges where they're like, okay, day 1, 5 squats, day 2, 20 squats, day 3, 100 squats, and you're like, whoa, girl hasn't done a squat in a minute. I'm already sore from day 1. And it's a little too much, and then you feel disappointed in yourself, and you just give up because you're like, if I can't do 100, then what's the point of doing any? And it's like, no. Like,
yes.
So I think it's like really important to either, you can challenge yourself for like a week or something, but I think if you're just trying to get started, I like that there are so many options out there. You could click YouTube, you can pin on Pinterest and find a workout video, no problem, and just do it. And I love that. But also it's like, I think it's more important to find something you look forward to, something that's more fun for you specifically, because that way you'll stick to it.
Yeah. And the challenges and stuff, I do like using them as a jumping off point. And then picking and choosing what I enjoy, because then I'm more likely to go back to it instead of like skipping a day and then realizing now I have 200 squats and I don't even like squats. But it's so right. Like picking something that you enjoy and using it as a motivator rather than something that you're like, oh my goodness, I'm like dreading this now. You'll stick to it so much better, so much longer. It becomes part of your lifestyle, or I really like to say it becomes part of your self-care routine. If you're enjoying it, it's totally self-care. And
definitely. Sorry, I cut you off.
I've been picking some. I've gone well into the self-care direction. I've been dancing a lot.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's so important to like get out of your head, get into your body, and then I feel like every time you're done doing exercise, you feel better. Mm-hmm. You do. You feel like you've re-energized your blood flow into your body. Like, of course you feel better. Like,
yeah. And you got some. On that is
exactly. I when I started working out again, like year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, I was just doing the whole gym. I was like, if I sign up at the gym with a trainer, I have to go. And it's kind of what I needed at that point to get me to go, because I already knew the cycle of having a gym membership and not going. And I knew that it was all I could do to like walk into that gym and sign up, because I was sad. I was tired. I just didn't even feel like it was something I wanted to do. And so kind of locking myself into a commitment, got me there. But after some time, spent a lot of time like focused on weights. Like cardio was more of like a 10-minute light elliptical warm up, and then weights. And that really changed my mind in thinking that I needed to do a lot of cardio in order to lose weight. I didn't do cardio a lot of the time, like a lot of the year. And then I was so like, that made me so happy. I was like, oh, I can just lift weights for like 30 minutes and then be done. Like, and be exhausted. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, my muscles weren't tired. I was tired. But then after I made it a bit of a habit, like I started doing Zumba like on the weekends stuff when I didn't have training. And Zumba was so fun, just like dancing. And then, I mean, there's so many other people in there dancing who are all like Zumba experts. But as long as I didn't bump into someone, it was fun. And it didn't really matter if people were like, everyone else is looking at themselves dancing. So it's like.
Exactly. And you have that energy of like being in the group. And I kind of had a similar like jumping off point. A year ago, I finally, like, when I was like, okay, I'm going to stop just pinning challenges and doing them for 6 days and then giving up on them. I'm going to, like, do something. And I challenged myself to join a kickboxing gym and do a 6-week, like, program with them to, like, get you into it, get your mind right, change your eating habits, all of that. And it sparked this whole, like, little joy in my heart. And it, like, reprogrammed that
Vanessa's heart grew 10 times that day.
10 times that day.
This reminds me of the Grinch.
Yes. And it did. I realized like you, like cardio was always this thing that I feared. I was always afraid of not being able to breathe. Like being out of breath did not look appealing to me.
With our anxieties too, we both have anxiety. And so sometimes having cardio, especially if the gym was warm or I was wearing a sweater getting cardio, it was like, it's just triggering anxiety.
Yes. And that's how I was. And then I do not enjoy working out in groups of people because I do not enjoy other people looking at me. That's just one of the things that I don't enjoy when I'm working out. I'm a very
when you're huffing and puffing.
Yes. I am very
You don't like that?
I'm very fair skinned and my face gets so red so fast. But when I started kickboxing, it was so much more than that. It was like a warm up of running for like a couple of minutes and then some pretty intense HIIT workouts to really get you going, which by the time they were over, I was just getting to that peak of like, okay, I'm no longer enjoying this. And then it ended and I was like, okay, good, let's move on. And then punching and kicking the bag and just the whole way of doing it was so fun for me. And that's what helped me stick with it. And I was like, okay, then pandemic hit and challenges arose. And it's because I loved it, I was able to just stick with it and make it such a part of my life that now I look back and I'm like, man, I wish I'd been doing this for so long. I would have been so fit by now.
Right? Like you brought me into a kickboxing class and holy moly. Oh, you're so right about like once that first 15 minutes is over, you're like, I'm done. I ran around the room. I did 10 burpees and plank push-ups and all that. And you're like, I'm done. I'm burnt out. And then they're like, okay, get some water, breathe, and now get ready to punch. And you're like, yeah, yeah, I'm ready. And you are ready. Like you're all warmed up. Like you're ready to like focus on form and then, hitting the bag, and everyone's just looking at the bag. They're not looking at each other unless they forgot the moves to figure out what moves they're supposed to be doing. And that was so fun too, because you just feel like you're almost competing in like a mud run or something. You're just consistently challenging yourself for like 45 minutes and then you're done and you've burned like 600 calories.
And it's so great to have a jumping off point, because then from there you can give yourself the freedom to be like, okay, I enjoy this specific part of it. And then from there you can go, okay, how can I make that better? What can I do? I don't enjoy running. I just don't enjoy it. I am large chested. So unless I have very good security, running is not very comfortable for me. And there's a whole other plethora of issues. So now I've been presented with challenges. I don't know if any of you know, but there's a pandemic. So we can't like go places. Which also means no kickboxing gym. But I took how much I love kickboxing, and then I've started giving myself kind of permission to like find other things that I like, and really changing my mind around, okay, I need to get this workout in because I need to do this, like I have to do cardio, whatever. And I've been finding ways of like, okay, what do I actually want to do? And now, instead of running to warm up and do my cardio like warm up, I dance. I do dance videos by the Fitness Marshall. So they're like fitness based, like cardio dance moves. And so now I'm dancing and then kickboxing and then obviously stretching somewhere in there. and I do still throw in a few of the workouts that I like a few burpees here and there. I think they're like super good to blast. But I've started kickboxing, like inspired me to give myself permission to make fitness more about what I want to do and what fitness I want, rather than having to be rigid and like, oh, you have to do this and have to jump on this bandwagon of whatever's new now. And
yeah, definitely. Like and some days you just don't feel in the mood for stuff. Like I set up a kickboxing, well, I have like a punching bag that I use as a kickboxing bag. It's not quite the same, but but I was really excited when I set it up, and then I was doing it, and then some days I was like, I just don't want to do it. And so I would do nothing. And it's like, well, you could still do something. So it's really like, it's just really important to like give yourself options. Like you don't have to be as strict and rigid with working out. Like it's literally about moving your body every day, because a lot of us are like stuck inside, but also like have desk jobs, or maybe just like, I don't know, like just having some time for yourself to do something that's like moves your body just like helps keep you limber, keep your mind focused, like re-energizes you, like also helps you sleep better, because then you're a little bit more tired than if you didn't work out, which is nice, because I know some days when I hadn't worked out for a few days in a row and I'm stressed out about life, I don't go to sleep that well. Sometimes I get a little bit of insomnia, just a little stressed out. But I have like a kickboxing bag. I've spent quarantine building like a home gym, which I think I'll post to the gram here pretty soon. And I really love lifting weights and like listening to like heavy metal music. It's just like, it feels like you're in a class, because I do miss like class atmospheres or the gym atmosphere where there's like music blasting and everyone's doing something and not really focusing on you, and you're there just like lifting, powering through, and then you're done. You're like, boom, I'm out of here. So I like to create that kind of atmosphere for myself. I'm like, music's loud, nobody's in here, you got your weights, and that's all you have. So do it.
And I think that has been one of the strongest moves that I've made in becoming a fitness minded person. Like creating a specific designated space where I set the atmosphere for what I want. Like you said, like you like that gym kind of activity, that action, that vibrancy, that energy that comes from that setting, and matching that and creating that in your own space that you have ready access to is such an important tool to motivating yourself to continue to do it. And I think that has been such a smart move on both of our parts to create success. And I would encourage anybody who's struggling to work out during lockdown, or even struggling to work out because they don't like the gym environment, or they feel embarrassed or don't want to be around people, that would be the biggest suggestion I would give, would be to create that space for yourself, but create it in the way that makes you feel good and happy. Don't mirror it to what you think you're supposed to have. Mirror it to what you want. Start somewhere and then build from that. You don't immediately have to, you don't have to create a kickboxing gym at home if that's not something that you're passionate about. There's plenty of other equipment that you can use. You don't even have to have equipment. But if you designate the space and create the environment, you're going to set yourself up for more success. And I've been, one of the things that we had at my kickboxing gym that I have actually been missing is they had these nights called DJ nights, where it was a nighttime class. They turned off all the lights, turned on music, and had like strobe lights and colored lights and flashing lights and a live DJ there, like at the studio. And I do miss that kind of thing, because it almost feels like you're going to the club, but you're like kickboxing, which would definitely get you kicked out of a club. So so I've actually been kind of recreating that. I got a light. It's like a speckly red and green like light, and it lights up the whole. I have like this rec room now that I've created my gym space in with my equipment and all the stuff that I love, and Star Wars pictures. And then now I have my like fun party light. So I just blast music, turn the lights off. I have this fun party light, and I love it. It's like kickboxing in a club, but at home, where I can do whatever I want. And I accidentally spent like 3 hours in my gym space the other day, just because I went from like stretching to dancing, and then I was like, well, shoot, let's turn off the lights and kickbox for a while. Me time. Me time.
Yeah, before you had that space, you literally had your kickboxing bag in a corner of your bedroom, and you hung up your gloves, and you had your supplies like just on a little shelf, and like that was it. That's all you had, and you still did it. Like, I swear, like it's. I mean, we talk like it's easy. It's like it's hard. I mean, you don't even need a yoga mat. You literally throw a towel on the ground and be like, all right, I'm stretching.
Yes. Because
it's like any small actions create bigger, more consistent actions.
Yes.
And then guess what? You've changed your fitness mindset.
And don't stress too much about what to do. Just do anything. Anything at all that gets your blood flowing and your body moving is progress. Walking for 20 minutes a day, doing yoga. Even if you start out with just active breathing and meditation with the goal of working it up to yoga. Like every little step is a step rather than staying stagnant, which we're humans. We have to continue to grow and evolve. And you don't have to be a gym buff or like a lifelong athlete to enjoy working out. It's just all about finding what actually sparks that in you.
Definitely. That's spot on. Spot on.
So make it something you look forward to. Designate a space that's just for you, and then give yourself permission to shake it up. You can, if you love rigidity, then definitely pull a 30-day plan from Pinterest or YouTube or wherever and stick to it and use that as your motivation to start. Or use it as a template. Get it going, learn some different moves. I know when I first started, like, actually legitimately trying to really work out, like, really exercise, it took a while to learn all of the different stuff, like burpees and squats and lunges, and there's, like, these row thing I just was trying to do. The other day I found one, it's like I think they're called chops. You hold your weight and you chop it down on either side while pulling your knee up. Super fun. Like it. Didn't know it existed. But I found it in a challenge, and I actually cherry picked it out of a cardio challenge. I was like reading one through and I was like, oh, what are chops? And I Googled it and boom, just scrapped the rest of the challenge because I did not want it. But I pulled the chops out.
Yeah, definitely. Like I've been using the Nike training app since they made it like free this year, which is super awesome. And they have yoga, they have body weight, they have like weighted exercises, they have like warm-ups, cool downs, like all this stuff, and like you can literally just tap and skip a move if you don't want to do it. So like sometimes if they're like, oh, you're downward dog, I was like, I'm just gonna hold a plank. I don't want to put pressure on myself. Like you just modify to do whatever. It's like you're still engaging in movement and stretching and breathing, and it's all good. It's all good for you.
That's one of those things I love about the Fitness Marshall videos is it's like legitimate dance moves from my perspective, which isn't, I don't know, but to me it looks like legitimate dance moves that he's doing, but he always has like this overall vibe of do something. even if you don't know how to do this thing. And that's how it was with Zumba. And I love that. I think dance is such a fun way to get more used to the idea of just moving your body, because it's so easy to not know what to do, so then you can just kind of like vibe to the music. And I find myself doing that a lot, where I'm like, I can't move my feet like that. I'm not a good dancer, but I'm loving the song. I'm loving his energy. My heart rate's already up. I'm already like vibing and moving, and I'm just going to shake my butt a little bit. And then hopefully I'll catch on to the next one. If not, I'll just shake my butt for 2.5 minutes. I think that's okay.
It's perfectly okay.
Give yourself permission to shake it out.
Find some fun. Find some fun in, like, you know, doing something new, or help like revive, you know, stuff that you're into, because it's like we don't feel like doing the same thing all the time. Like, same thing, like food, you know, routines, like you don't always want to do everything. So it's totally like, I don't know why we keep it in our mind so hard that like we have to do it a certain way. It has to be this much time or it's not worth it. It's like, something's better than nothing. I think we all know that.
Right, exactly. And it's all a way of building habits. And then also, as you like progress in your fitness journeys, and whether you're on like a weight loss journey or a muscle building journey or whatever it is, you're going to have to mix it up anyways down the road, because your body's going to need different movement. At some point, you're going to have to go from 5-pound weights to 10-pound weights. So you're giving yourself the proper resistance, because you could hurt yourself if you don't. You could easily pull a muscle or strain yourself if you're not progressing and listening to your body. So to keep yourself in some rigid path and like structure could also be dangerous if you're not also connecting with why you like it, why you don't like it. Does it feel like it's actually helping? Is it hurting? Check in with yourself and make sure you're not just working out because you have to. Try to love it and then learn it and grow with it and evolve with it. And you'll be successful, no problem. Thank you for tuning in to Gain and Glow, our Feel Good podcast. I'm Vanessa.
I'm Crystal. Take a deep breath. You got this.
Yeah. Until next time, guys. Thanks.